you think it's okay to tell people to be vegan? I like meat. This is my lifestyle. For me, it's the better way to live.
Better for you.
Morally,
It doesn't matter what happens to anyone
That's what I'm
else
saying.
as long as you live good. Do you think we could kill me humanely right now if I want to live?
Plants, they're living things too. We shouldn't be killing them.
Do you honestly believe that a tomato cares if I cut it?
Can you prove that there's no subjective science?
I don't need to prove it.
I'm not a scientist.
I don't need to prove it. It's obvious. It's clear. It's just as obvious as there's no subject in here to me.
Like the ones that some plants open their mouths and eat flies.
I'll be going down into the gas.
We're gonna get caught. Do you think like humane killing exists? Do you think it's a thing to like kill humanely? Do you think you could kill me humanely right now if I want to live?
Yeah.
You could kill me humanely if I want to live?
If you want to live.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I want to live, right? You're not putting me out of my misery. If I don't feel a thing, right, and you kill me, is that humane?
No.
What if you like the way I taste? Is that justified?
No.
Yeah.
We try to find this humane way to kill animals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
They want to live, obviously. So I'm trying to say, is it humane to kill them if they want to live?
You don't necessarily know what they're thinking though. Do you believe in God?
Possibly, yeah. I don't believe in religions, though.
Yeah.
Because I think they're supposed to point you to God, but I don't...
Yeah. God would have put them there
That's what I
for a
that's what I
reason.
want to say.
Like everything serves a purpose.
Okay.
Like I believe
Okay.
that God like put animals there for like purposes, if you know what I'm saying, like horses, like they were used back in the day to like help
To
people
travel.
etc.
Now we've got
stuff
cars.
like that. Yeah.
So should we still use horses?
Well, how do you think you evolved into the human that you are today?
I mean, maybe my ancestors had to do some horrible things, right? They had to kill animals. They probably had to kill other people.
And are
Yeah.
they wrong for that?
When you're trying to survive, I'm not going to hold someone morally responsible, you know what I mean? As much. I'm not going to be like, oh, you were trying to survive and you killed a fish or you kill another human to save your family. I'm not going to like, you know what I mean? But like murder, animals are just chilling. We're mass murdering them. We don't need to eat them to survive, actually, or to be healthy.
yeah.
Well, at the end of the day,
So we're only doing it for like,
We do.
for personal gains.
for like taste preference.
Not even just taste.
It's not really
No, like,
taste.
Everything's
because they all taste different, and you can change the taste yourself with like flavors, this, that,
Yeah.
etc. It's like the same thing with plants. If we were to go with your view, then they're living things too. We shouldn't be killing them.
killing them exactly for sure.
So what's the difference? Do you think? Do you think there's a moral?
organisms? Aren't plants
No,
organisms?
of course they're living. Yeah,
Just
I
like
agree.
animals.
I agree with both of you. They
Yeah.
are living. Yeah. Do you think there's a moral distinction, like a moral difference between like plants and dogs, cats, humans, other animals? Do you think they suffer in the same way?
Yeah, I think they will
It
suffer
just
in the
depends
same
on the way
way.
you see it, really. If you love life, then they both suffer in the same way, for sure.
So why don't you try to kill like plants humanely when you eat them? Do you have halal slaughter standards for plants?
No.
Why not? If they suffer in the same way as animals, and you're supposed to be, it's haram to cause suffering.
I'm not sure.
I think I know. I think because their plants don't actually suffer the same as animals. Otherwise, it would be written into your guidelines.
They do, technically.
Nah, well, think about it, bro. Like, think a potato has a brain, a functioning nervous system, pain receptors, things like that animals
They
have.
die, they grow.
can't escape pain, so why would they need it? They don't have pain. Like, pain is a mechanism for you to know that you're suffering to escape. Yeah. Plants don't need to escape. They're rooted into the ground. They don't need pain receptors because they don't have to escape.
How about this then? Why don't you tell the animals to stop eating animals?
Can't.
You can't. Just how you can't.
Can't-
tell
I can't tell them.
It's a cycle.
I can't tell them to stop raping each other either, you know what I mean? Like, you guys I can reason with. You know, I can say don't murder this individual there, but you're not going to tell a lion that because they're out there surviving. And if you're in a war and you have to protect your family, I'm not going to say, oh, don't shoot that person who's trying to kill your family. Morals are gone at that point. Now we're civilized, we're not surviving, we've got choices to make.
We are surviving in a way.
In a way, but not in the same way.
Yes, things
Like
have
a lion.
changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
things are different,
Yeah.
obviously. But and then we still need to eat to survive, if you know what I'm saying.
Of course. But we can choose what we eat to survive. Like, I don't have to eat you
well,
to survive.
Yeah, obviously.
Like right now, in this,
Yeah,
when we're chilling.
obviously.
Yeah.
So, sir, so you think it's okay to tell people to be vegan, but we can't? No,
I never mentioned the word vegan, by the way.
No, sorry, I just noticed your tattoo.
Yeah, okay, so now all the vegan things come out. Yeah, I didn't mention the word vegan though, but you've seen it on my neck.
yeah.
I didn't actually tell you to be vegan, actually. I just, I'm asking you questions.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get you to logically think about things you don't think about usually.
Yeah, I just
Because I've thought about this for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
And like you seem like you're just beginning to think about all these different things. Like, it's probably not something you sit there thinking about all the time.
It's not,
Yeah.
for sure.
I've thought about everything that you've said. I've heard everything that you've said like multiple times. So that's why I've always got an answer for it, because I
Yeah.
always hear these same things from people.
Same things, yeah.
Because people are conditioned in the same ways. A little bit different, like you've got a religion that's maybe dictating, your religion actually has something about animals in there.
Yeah.
I still don't think Muslims should eat animals, and they don't have to. It's not required by God for
Yeah,
them.
it's not required to eat them,
Yeah.
but and then it's not like forbidden to eat them, if you know what I'm saying. Like
know.
you can eat them, like
Under certain guidelines.
yeah, you can eat them under certain guidelines if they're looked after properly, fed, this, that.
No, no.
Like you're not supposed to treat them cruelly, and then you're also supposed to slit their
I know.
throat. It like kills the nervous system, so and then
know.
it's the least painful way to go.
You know, the RSPCA did a study on halal slaughter, and they found that the animals were suffering for about a minute. And they decided to start stunning halal animals here because of that study.
That's the same RSPCA that
That
do
are
the gas
hypocrites.
chambers. Yeah, hypocrites. Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But science is showing that slitting someone's throat and just leaving them to bleed out is actually not as humane as they might have thought back then. When this was written, you had different circumstance with people. They're allowing something to happen. They're not requiring you to eat animals. When you live in a world with a choice, what would be the most humane choice? What would be the most choice that causes the less death and suffering and blood and violence, and then you can guarantee no one's being suffered in a gas chamber.
Eat everything in proportion, I'd say. Don't eat just meat, which a lot of people do.
Everyone does,
Like
yeah.
KFC, people go to KFC, McDonald's, everything's just meat. You could
Yeah.
like.
So you don't
mix
think
it
you
up.
should stop eating meat at
No,
all?
I don't
that's
think
crazy.
I don't think you should stop eating meat at all.
I don't think that's what anyone should be doing.
Okay.
I don't think it's completely healthy as well.
You think it's
I,
healthy?
I think you need meat
All right.
if you want to be a
Good athlete.
complete
Good protein.
So you don't think there's any vegan athletes? Or?
Oh, for sure. There are vegan athletes, but all the best athletes aren't vegan. LeBron James, best basketballer, potentially of all time, not vegan. Cristiano Ronaldo.
I think the larger percentage of human beings are actually not vegan. So like, I don't think that statistic really works because there's just way more non-vegans. So you're always going to get like the best scientist is not vegan, or well, the best everyone is not vegan nearly, because it's only like we're only a small percentage of the population.
I mean, if you were a small
like-
percentage of
yeah.
the population and veganism really worked, then wouldn't you just skyrocket to the top?
No, because like you guys right now, like you're not like just agreeing with this straight away, are you? Like even if animals are suffering really badly, like you're probably not going to stop eating bacon tomorrow,
No,
knowing that there's a gas chamber they're coming out of.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily eat the gas chamber bacon.
There's no way of you knowing
Like you said,
what pigs are killed in gas chambers and which
like you
aren't.
said, the RSPCA stamped the gas chambers.
No.
pigs.
Even the ones that aren't RSPCA approved are still killed in gas chambers. 86% of the pigs are killed in gas chambers.
I will think twice now for eating vegan and gas bacon.
Yeah, you'll think twice, but you'll probably still do it. Like this is, you're saying why isn't everyone vegan, right? And it's because that you have to make a decision and change your behaviour, which is like a big ask for people who just don't. I've got bigger things to worry about, man. I got other things to do. I don't really want to check my food to see if it's vegan. Like that's probably why, because it's more comfortable. People have different conditioning, so it takes time. Like not everyone's going to go, oh, what? That's cruel. I'm going to stop it tomorrow. Like I know it's cruel. I know how cruel it is. I know the extent to how much they're lying to everyone. But I'm an investigator and I'm an activist. I've been doing this for a long time, so it's going to take people a long time.
Vegan thing, that's really nice.
That's all right. I can show you footage if you want to see it,
All right, I don't want to see footage.
and I'll show you exactly. It's
I do want to see footage. Yeah,
it's one of the worst things I've seen,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
and they're widespread, and people don't know about them. So they go into here. They're waiting up here for a sec, and it's like if you can imagine like a Ferris wheel. This is one of the cages on the Ferris wheel, and it goes down into a pit. And then they start going into the gas.
that's shady, bro.
Trust me.
Can you imagine dying like that, bro?
Nah, could be done in a better way.
Better way. Why?
This is the most humane method.
I think that word remains should be abolished because people use it wrong.
They do. They use it wrong because there's worse ways to die. And this is why they say it's more humane. Like if I was going to torture you first before I killed you, I would be inhumane. But if I didn't torture you and I just put you out of your misery, people call me humane. But if I've got an option not to kill you at all, what's that? I'm an extremist now? I'm a vegan extremist?
It gets used wrong by everyone. Like
Yeah.
I'd say even you. say you're a vegan, right? So you'd say you mainly eat food, and
I think the most humane thing to do, like, is to follow the definition, being kind and compassionate. You can't compassionately kill someone who wants to live.
but you can't compassionately pull grass and eat it. You're just killing
Yeah,
it.
I don't think it doesn't matter to me because it's like it's non-sentient. Do you know what sentience is?
Yeah, sentience is.
Is like this, what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Plants are not sentient. They don't have a brain, a consciousness. They only react to sunlight. They're like little non-sentient computers. Like a computer doesn't have sentience, but it's smart, it's intelligent, it reacts. But this is the plants. It doesn't matter what happens to a tomato because
When you compare the sentience of a chicken to a human being,
when you
it's
compare
different
some
levels.
human
Yeah.
sentience to some humans, so you compare a baby to an adult, they're still sentient, so they're still conscious and experiencing, and they can suffer, and they can experience happiness. You know what I mean? But a tomato plant cannot experience happiness or suffering or pain or emotions. There's no one in there. If you see me just smashing a tomato plant, you wouldn't give a shit. But if you see me kicking a dog, you would step in, you'd probably punch me in the head, and I would hope you would.
Because
you know?
the dog's got more sentience than a chicken.
No, I'm
It's
talking
a-
about tomato plant. If you see me smashing a tomato plant, you wouldn't say shit. If it was my tomato plant,
You'd be like, what are you doing?
it's mine. I'll say I'm just not.
I'd still ask.
I just say I'm not. Well, okay, I've got prunes, like clips, and I'm just snipping it down, just like that. Just snipping it down in my backyard, pulling tomatoes off. You're not going to say shit. But if you see me with a dog, and I'm sawing the dog's head off, you're going to go, what the f*** you doing, dude? I'm going to say, okay, I'm eating it, making bacon, dog bacon.
What's your point there?
My point is that you know intuitively that plants are not sentient because I can test it. You know when I'm kicking a tree, you don't give a shit it's a tree. It's a tree trunk. It's just a life form that doesn't have a mind.
It's like
Nah, I'd say they've got minds.
I see it got mine.
Well, the
I'd
mind,
say-
yeah, they have
because
Okay.
they react to different stuff. Like if you were to do something to a plant, it'd react in a way.
You use the word react, and
So does your iPhone.
Yeah, because we programmed
Yeah,
it to
that's
react.
because it's
Well,
programmed.
they're pre-programmed.
How can they be pre-programmed? They're a living organism.
They're living.
They can't be. They can't
They've got DNA. They've got DNA. They've got they've got a biological. They're a biological
like a nervous
organism.
system, innit?
There's no nervous system, but it's not the same as like your nervous system, where if I stab you, you feel the pain. It goes to your brain. You have pain receptors. It heals. You suffer. You're actually also experiencing. So you're a personality. Like you've got someone inside of your brain experiencing the pain.
You can't communicate with a plant and know if it's scared to be killed.
Exactly.
No, but they don't express any pain. They don't. They don't
How-
have eyes or a brain or a.
Obviously, they don't have eyes.
Come
but
on, bro. Like, think about
they-
this. You're doing all the talking here. Like, do you honestly believe that a f***ing tomato cares if I cut it?
Could do.
It might do.
No. But this might be alive here.
Wallahi,
This microphone might be alive. Like,
Nah,
it might do.
That's
that's completely
man-made.
That's man-made. It's not.
Okay.
What's it made out of? Plastic.
But how do you know that atoms aren't sentient?
Atoms.
If I made a claim about this microphone, would I have to prove it?
What claim would you want to make? Make a claim.
So you're making a claim that tomatoes feel pain, yeah?
We're not.
Prove it.
They could do.
So
We're not saying that they do.
No, but
But they could.
You need to be able to prove it. The burden of proof is not on me. You have to prove your claim that
Can
plants
you
feel pain.
prove that they don't feel pain?
Yes.
Go on.
But it's not up to me to prove it because the burden of proof is on you. You're making the
No,
claim.
no, I want you to convince me
Well-
that tomatoes don't feel pain.
Do you know what the burden of proof is?
No,
The burden of
explain.
proof, the person who's making the claim has to prove their positive claim. I don't have to prove a negative. I don't have to prove something doesn't exist. You're saying something does exist. You have to.
No, I don't remember saying that something exists.
No,
I
you're
said-
saying that
I
plants.
said
No,
it
no.
could.
You're saying.
It could
Yeah, but
exist.
that's who cares if it could? I don't care if it could. I want to know if they can.
Can you prove that it does?
I can prove animals feel pain.
No, can you prove that plants feel pain?
I'm not trying to. I can prove.
No,
I know they don't because it's clear to us that
How?
through evidence they don't have a brain, a functioning nervous system. They don't have pain
Okay,
receptors. They don't have.
All right. If we were to prove then, if we were to get evidence that plants feel pain, would you stop eating plants?
If you found out that plants actually scream in terror, good luck.
you never know. You could find
You
pain
never know if you never know
receptors
if a
or-
rock feels pain, bro. You never know. I could say your glasses are sentient, right?
No.
If I make it, no, I can because
You can, but it
because
won't be true.
it could be true though.
It couldn't be true.
No, no,
'cause
well,
it's not
there you go.
It's not a living thing.
It couldn't
This
be.
is-
No, it's
it's
not.
the same thing.
The glass is.
It doesn't matter if it's living.
Yes,
So
it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It matters if they can feel pain and if they're conscious and sentient.
What? Take these glasses for example. What are they? It's just the glasses, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing to them.
Doesn't matter.
Plastic.
Well, how do you know plastic doesn't feel pain?
How can plastic feel pain?
How can a tomato feel pain?
Wood feel pain.
I don't care. I don't care about food.
Let me speak
You're
there.
saying it's
You're wasting
possible.
my
Yeah,
thought.
go ahead.
So because if they feel pain, they can't be killed, you can't eat them.
The reason it matters if an animal feels pain is because there's a subject there, which like you're a subject, you're a subject.
I get what you're
so
trying
you
to-
can experience the pain.
I get
right?
what you're trying to say, but
tomato,
like you said, with a plant, I don't.
There's no one there.
Can you prove that there's no subject inside
Can you prove there is a subject inside a plant?
No. Can you prove that there isn't?
I don't need to prove it.
I'm not a scientist.
I don't need to prove it. It's obvious. It's clear. It's just as obvious as there's no subject in here to me.
Some plants are intelligent,
How-
like the ones that
how is
literally
it- how-
some plants open their mouths and eat flies.
I don't care. My phone
Isn't
calls
that-
people when I push on it.
Yeah, but that's because it's programmed.
man-made.
It's man-made. You've
Doesn't matter.
given it a purpose.
What I'm trying to say is that just because something could be doesn't prove that it is, and you need evidence to prove
So
something.
that plant that opens their mouth and eats other things, eats flies, is that not sentient?
No, because you can put a rock in there and it closes its mouth. It doesn't know what it is.
it's still sentient. It's still.
You're talking about a Venus
it's not
flytrap.
sensing something. It's
No,
got
no,
a
no.
nervous system.
No, it's-
It can feel. It
No.
can feel. Venus flytrap. It senses when something's there and then it will close.
Doesn't matter. My phone
It's
senses
got a
when
ner-
something's there. It doesn't mean it's
No,
sentient.
that's because you put there's a sensor inside here that'll know when you're tapping the
Well,
screen.
think of
Like,
a-
right now that's black.
Yeah.
Tap it. It's because there's a sensor. It's programmed.
But does that
to
mean
do
that there's a subject in there?
No, because you've programmed.
Okay.
That's
Well, there we go.
You've given it electricity and you programmed it.
So what I'm trying to say, right, is that something can exist, right, that reacts to outside stimulation, but there's no subject in there. There's no sentience in there. Things can exist like that. There's no individual.
There's no individuality in chickens.
Yeah, there is.
There isn't.
Yeah, because chickens have sentience, they have personalities, and they.
They all
You'll
walk
be
in the
surprised,
same
actually.
flock. They all do the same.
When you leave, just look up chicken intelligence studies, and you see how smart.
Yeah,
and,
we're not saying that they're not
you
intelligent.
can make anything.
but there's
intelligent.
also a subject
You
in
can make
there.
a cockroach intelligent. Some
Yeah.
don't vegans
Because-
eat insects?
I don't eat any animal, but insects die in plant production, but it's something you can't avoid.
That's
But,
why I say we shouldn't be making plants because insects die from it.
Yeah, but the animals that you eat a bunch of plants, so you're killing more plants by eating animals because the pigs eat the grain, the chickens eat the grain, so you're killing.
It's a circle.
It's more plants killed.
It's a cycle.
I don't-
Us humans, we're at the top, and then let's say chickens, for example,
that's
they're
because-
below us.
But we can just eat the grain and the potatoes and the vegetables
Yeah, but there
and
wouldn't
leave
be
the chickens
there
alone.
wouldn't be much nutrients from that.
No, you can get your full like
No,
if you.
you can get nutrients with it. I'm not denying that.
Oh, you can be vegan and be healthy, man.
Yeah, I know, but you're not gonna get the same.
We're all vegan. We're
Yeah,
all vegan.
You're not gonna get the same like what's it called? Like nourishment.
Nourishment.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the same nourishment. As
Do you have evidence for that, though?
You can ask a scientist. They'll
No, but you're making an assumption again. Like
I'll be
it's
honest.
fine to if you've got good data to support what you're saying. That's fine. But there's actually data
have
on
you
the
got
other side.
data against what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's like a big systematic review from the American Dietetics Association saying vegan diets can be healthy for all stages of the life cycle.
Yeah,
Pregnancy,
we're not
infancy,
saying,
health.
No. I'm not saying that it's not healthy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's
So-
not healthy.
Okay.
Because everyone's advised to eat vegetables, eat their greens, like they say.
Doctors say eat fruits and
Five a
veggies.
day.
Do they say eat KFC? Do they say eat bacon? Do they say
See,
No.
meat.
they eat bacon for health?
See meat.
They-
That
they
was
see
on-
meat.
that was on my
Eat red
side.
meat?
That was on my
Is red
side,
meat
chat.
healthy?
Growing up.
If you get all your proteins from plants, it's
Yeah.
not going to be the same as getting it from an animal because it's a different type of protein. You know what I'm saying?
No, well-
like that's like saying, let's say you ate loads of beans to get the right amount of protein that you need for
Yeah.
for your day, etc.
Protein's in all plants, by the way, but beans would be more protein. So like,
Let's say in a can of beans, how much protein are you getting?
I think beans are only about 20 grams or 15 grams per 100 cooked beans. But something like tempeh would be like 25 to 30 grams per 100.
Yeah.
If you want to get 100 grams of actual protein or 140 grams if you're bodybuilding or something, I mean, easy, man, on a vegan diet. If you found out, right, you can get your protein, you can get your nutrients, right? You could eat balanced, and that there was actually a lot of science to support plant-based diets, right? Would that make you stop eating animals?
No, it would not.
So why are we even bothered discussing about it?
That's just the way.
Why would you even deploy that as an argument? You're best off just saying, I'm not going to change either way, so I don't need to justify myself. Because even if you found
I'm
out,
just trying to understand the way that you think.
but even if you found out, right, that you could be healthy, you could get your protein, you still wouldn't change. So there's no point in us even discussing
They've
that.
made it harder to be vegan. Vegan foods cost a lot more money than.
Cheapest food in the supermarket's vegan, bros.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not.
Rice is the cheapest food per calorie on earth.
We're saying like, let's say vegan
Vegan
burgers.
meat. Well, you can go to Macca's and get them for £4.
Macca's, I don't want to eat
Macca's
Macca's
isn't healthy
anyways.
though.
Macca's isn't healthy.
You don't eat burgers for health. Who eats burgers for health? Do you go, I want to eat healthy today, I'm going to get a burger?
You get a burger as a treat every now and again.
Yeah, same here. But I'm saying if you want that treat, you can get it vegan.
Vegan burgers cost more. That's
No, it's not.
That's
If you get the cheapest factory farmed meat burger in the whole supermarket and you get like a frozen packet for like $1 for 50, you're right. But I wouldn't want to eat that crap anyway. But all I'm saying is like you can design a very cheap vegan lifestyle, but even let's just say you could, let me ask you this question. Let's just say you could design it really cheap. Would that stop you eating animals?
I mean, if vegan food tasted nicer, if it tasted nice, because if it tasted nice in general,
It'd have an impact, 100%.
That's what I was
But
trying to
it wouldn't put me completely off.
Okay. So it doesn't matter then. Either way, if I could design a lifestyle for you that was exactly the same amount or even a little bit cheaper than the one you're on now, would you go vegan tomorrow?
No, I would.
Well, there you go. So there's no point us even addressing
I
it.
just
Do
think.
you know what I mean? Because that's not what's holding
I
you
just-
back. There's something else that's deeper that's holding you both back, and it's more like I don't want to change my lifestyle because I like
No,
the
it's
taste.
not
Or,
that I don't want to change my lifestyle. I'd happily change my lifestyle if it's to better myself.
so if it causes less suffering because you're alive, and actually it might even extend your life a little bit, but and let's just say you're just as happy.
Extend your life.
Let's just say you're just as healthy.
I don't think you'd be just as healthy.
Do you think the oldest person in history was a vegan? Got there by veganism?
No, genetics will make you live longer, actually, no matter what you do. But what I'm saying is, like, let's just say you're just as healthy, maybe even a bit healthy, maybe eating a little bit more fruits and veg. You're causing less suffering. You found out that actually you could actually do it pretty cheap. You found out actually that, you know, you can get the nutrients you need in protein pretty easy, like I found that out, actually, when I first went vegan. If you found out all these things, what would be the one thing holding you back?
I like meat.
Ancestors.
You like me? That's the honest answer.
That's his honest answer. My honest answer is that my family have come from here and now they're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's good.
me didn't stop them. You know, why should, it's not going to stop me.
That's not a very good argument for why I should continue to do something,
Well, it's not.
even if it's horrifically cruel. Like just because your family, my family will did it for ages. A lot of my family's vegan now, but it took years, a few years for them to like. But I mean, that's not a very good argument for you to do something.
It's the way it worked back then.
What would you lose right now if you stopped eating meat?
No, do you believe in Jesus?
Nah, not like all this religion stuff. I'm a bit iffy on. I believe probably in God.
I believe God's vegan.
I don't think God needs to eat.
Yeah, obviously I don't think. But if he,
I just don't think if you've seen what you just seen then, the gas chamber. Do you think that's a heavenly place?
no,
Do you think,
I wouldn't say
there's
there's-
gas chambers in heaven? Do you
Good
think
action,
slaughterhouses are good in
Obviously-
the eyes of God?
Depends how the animal's killed.
In the UK,
Gas
in the
chambers,
slaughterhouse,
obviously, I'd say
Okay.
negative, yeah, bad. But like, if they're not killing it in that way, like the halal way, which I believe, I don't think that's bad.
you don't think there's anything wrong with,
I don't think there's anything wrong with
Yeah.
killing animals the halal way.
even if the animal wants to live and you don't need to do it,
I can show you. I can show you.
and
a
it's not
video.
actually required by your religion to do it.
Listen, I can show you a video right now on my phone of an animal
Submitting
basic-
themselves?
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've already responded to it in my videos. I've seen it. Like, I know what you're going to say. They submit themselves. They submit to God. They're not. They're submitting because they're scared and they're being dominated by a human.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Because he lets go, the animal does not move. If
Yeah.
it was scared, it would have realised that he's let go and would have run off.
Now, sheep are actually prey animals, so they freeze. They freeze when they're terrified. And just because they trust him doesn't mean that it's okay to kill him. If God put animals here to eat, and I put a gun to a pig's head, you watch them run. You don't believe God put pigs here to eat?
I don't think pigs are here to
Okay,
eat.
so a chicken or a lamb, if I start chasing with a gun, how did God, with a knife?
You want to chase it with a knife though? That's
They
not,
should
that's-
just submit
that-
anyway.
That's not.
They should just submit
No,
anyway.
You're misunderstanding it all. You need to take it away from any other animal, so then they don't witness.
Bro,
Yeah.
I've been looking into this for ages, man. I don't want to cut you off, but
Yeah.
I know that they're not supposed to witness each other. I know
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a prayer. I know that they're not supposed to be in fear and things like this. I know there's supposed to be a super sharp knife and they're supposed to cut it through and you think that it actually cuts off the nerves to the brain and they don't feel a thing, they're knocked out.
Obviously, they're gonna feel something, but it reduces the pain if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Makes it more
Yeah,
humane.
but it's not the most humane, basically.
Yeah.
Why do they even do it? Why do they even care about how the animal feels if they're just put here by God? They're food.
Because
Why would you care
we-
for them?
As Muslims, we're not allowed to kill anything unless it's for a reason.
We've actually covered that you
Yeah.
don't actually need to eat them to sustain yourself.
Yeah, I know, but
what do you think the
things
profits
change.
and things would think of when they look at the state of factory farming and slaughterhouses today?
Could be done in a better way.
For sure.
Do you know there's no halal slaughter standards for fish?
Yeah, I know.
You know, back then they didn't think fish probably felt pain, but now we've got science to prove they do feel pain. And there's no halal slaughter standards for a fish, actually. Don't you think that's a bit like strange?
No.
Okay. But they do feel pain. Do you think fish feel pain?
Oh, everything feels pain.
Okay. So they do suffer on the boats when they're getting dragged out.
It depends. Like I said before, it depends how it's done. Everything
Well,
has
on
to
a
be done.
boat, so they get a big trawling net,
Yeah.
and they drag them out from the bottom of the ocean, and they dump them on the boat, and some of the fish are at the top, some are at the bottom suffocating, and there's no actual slaughter guidelines on fishing vessels. There's no way of actually policing slaughter guidelines on fishing vessels.
And you're
Yeah.
calling to provide guidelines for slaughtering fish.
I'm just saying that the halal standards don't even account for fish, and they suffer.
Yeah,
And that's
no, but
haram.
listen,
Suffering's haram in like.
But
It's what it's called.
how can you make it?
They don't
so then-
have a way it's done for fish though. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying like
There's no do it this way for fish. They're not even recognised
not really
in a halal
much.
slaughter guidelines.
There's not really much that you can do. How would you kill a fish humanely?
I mean, if I had to, if it was in their interest to die, that would be humane to me. Like if they were suffering and
Yeah.
they needed to die,
How would you do it?
if they needed to die, and they were like if you needed to die and you were suffering and there's no other option, I would kill you as quickly as I could.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what's done.
No, but they don't need to die. They weren't suffering before they were dragged out of the ocean. We cause them suffering and then we kill them and then we say it's humane.
It's the same thing with like the chickens, lambs, etc. They're there for a purpose. Like they're doing their thing.
But-
and then obviously I'm not gonna catch every single fish I
Yeah.
can, just eat them. That'll be taking the mick in it.
You're going to kill a lot of animals over the course of your life.
Yeah, obviously.
A lot of animals that don't need to die. A lot of suffering you don't have to be involved with. If you can actually make a choice right now, and maybe it's a more compassionate choice. Maybe it is more in line with God to be more compassionate and cause less suffering to those who can't.
It's eating everything in proportion.
But you don't
We-
abuse
when-
people in proportion. You don't do that in proportion. You just
we're
don't
talking,
do
we're
it.
talking about eating here. We're
No,
not talking about abusing.
But you don't.
Abusing.
Yeah, but eating if you need to, doing these things when you need to are a different story. You're talking about making a mundane choice between chicken and tofu. We're not talking about you are about to die.
Sir, you were talking about genetics, right?
Yeah.
Certain humans' genetics won't allow them to live without meat or fish.
Yeah.
or
I don't
stuff
care
like
unless
that.
that's you. I honestly don't care about that unless that's you.
Unless that's me, but
Yeah, because we're talking-
That's the case.
Bro, we know that could be
That
us.
could be us.
me.
That would be a different conversation then. That would be survival. We would have to talk about that.
So-
But you're both not there.
We don't know.
We don't know that.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd say I eat meat almost every day.
Yeah, I used to as well, bro. I used to probably eat meat more than you, probably, I think, maybe. Maybe.
I eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, you don't want to, and that's why, that's why we're just debating this, because you're really attached to it. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not attached to it.
Could
I'm
you give
not-
it up?
I could give it up if it was for
A good reason?
more of a valid reason.
Why not?
I'll-
Why isn't
I'll
less
be-
killing and suffering
I'll-
good?
Sir, I'll be honest. I went seen that documentary on Netflix. What's it called? Game
Conspiracy or
Changers.
Game Changer? Okay, yeah.
I watched Game Changers. I wanted to be a better athlete. So
Oh, yeah, so you did it for yourself.
Yeah, so I did it for myself. I became a vegan, 3 months, weren't enjoying life how I was, but my performance wasn't rising, wasn't elevating. I was spending way more money than I needed to spend. I was
Yeah.
watching all these little videos and vegan, cheap lifestyles, and it
Didn't work for you.
didn't work for me. I like meat. This is my lifestyle. It's like
Yeah.
for me, it's the better way to live.
Better for you.
Morally, yeah.
Better.
Morally,
It doesn't matter what happens to anyone else
what I'm saying.
as long as you live good.
Morally, I wouldn't like to eat pigs that are gassed and
Yeah, me neither.
and
Just horrible suffering.
animals that are shot, horrible stuff.
So
I
why
wouldn't
don't
like
you?
that. If
So why don't you?
I mean, if there was legit labels that were to put, oh yeah.
You
this
know about the
animal's actually
labels
good.
now, though, bro. So
I'll be honest. I'm not a vegan, but I don't eat caged hens, eggs. I'd rather eat free value or whatever.
you mean free range? Yeah.
Free range, yeah.
They're all gas chambered too, by the way. The free range hens.
I didn't know.
And it's like more 90%.
Maybe it's better to be educated more, innit? But it's definitely.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look,
There's
how it
room-
is. How it
there's-
is.
There's
by the way.
room for improvement, but I wouldn't say cut out meat completely.
for sure.
But you don't want to say that because
No,
you
I'm
really.
not. I'm not saying that I don't want to. I know I could, but it's serving a purpose for me, and I'm doing it like when we kill meat the halal way, we're like doing it with God's permission in a way.
You don't know how your animals are killed.
No, I'm saying we're doing it with.
You've never
God's-
been in that slaughterhouse. I've been to a halal slaughterhouse. Have you ever been to a halal slaughterhouse here in the UK?
I've not been to one in the UK.
Okay, yeah, I have. So actually, I'm more knowledgeable just by a little bit, even if I've just been and seen those factory farm chickens come in there all f***ed up, going into a halal slaughterhouse to be served to Muslims who just think, we thank God. It's all this, it's all that. It's you've been programmed. You've been programmed. I was programmed. You think, oh, it's all humane, maybe. You think, oh, it's all halal, maybe. I thought it was all humane, maybe. You see free range, you think, oh man, for green grass. I know more about free range eggs than most people because I've been in their farms and I've seen what happens in them. Suffering animals everywhere.
So what, eating caged hens better? Is that what would you say?
Yeah, it's a little bit worse, but free range is only because they're in a cage, but free range suffer and die in the farms as well.
At least for me, knowing that I would have rather done the morally good thing, it's made me feel better, and I could feel
That's
a lot,
why people
a lot
do it.
more better.
You do it because it makes you feel better. You know what I mean? But no one really thinks about how it makes the animals feel either way. We're not thinking like of others. That's what I'm trying to get people to think of. Like if you were getting beaten right now by someone, I'd be thinking of how you're feeling and come and defend you.
I'm a human being.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're human. If it's a
Well,
dog,
well-
if it's an animal, for me, if they suffer and they don't want it to happen to them, I protect them as well. So I extend it.
Have you spoken to the animals?
No, but you don't need to. You don't need to speak to them to know they're suffering.
You've seen that video, right? Of the animals submitting, if they're doing it the halal way. Yeah. You're saying they're scared. Yeah.
I'm saying
I
that-
say they're submitting.
You think they're submitting to God, which is a very big claim to make, but there's actually science on them being prey animals.
How would you know?
Do they submit to the animals that chase them down in the wild?
That's completely different.
Why?
Because it's a survival thing there, and then they're trying to survive. Let's say a gazelle and a lion. A lion's gonna chase. It's not gonna kill all of them at once. They're just gonna pick out one and eat it because that's what they need to
I'm
survive.
talking about I'm saying to you, why don't the gazelle submit to the lion if God made them for food?
Because it's a different story.
Why do they run away for their lives? Why did God design them to run for their lives? Why do they care? They're food. In your eyes, God made them for a purpose. Why did he make them so they feel pain and fear? If I wanted to make someone for your food, right, I'd make a tomato. They don't get scared, they don't run away, they don't themselves in blood in a slaughterhouse. Like, you don't have to trick them into killing them like halal slaughter people do. They trick them into submit. He tricks that. He pats them and he tricks them and then he slits their throat. Like, why didn't they have to see each other get killed? They're all food at the end of the day. They're all food. Like, it's a sheep. I'm a sheep. We're food. Thanks God. I'm submitting. We're submitting. Why do we have to not see each other get killed?
It's different.
No. Think about it though, bro.
So I guess we just have to agree to disagree here.
No, that's cool. I'm glad we had a chat though. When I told you about the gas chambers, you were actually like pretty affected by it, man. You were shocked by it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's bad.
It is bad.
Like, I'm not saying that you're not a good person.
No, I know that.
I'm just saying that you're defending something that you're really trying to defend this because
I'm
I
trying-
don't think it's going to be easy for you to change or
I'm
something.
trying to defend that eating meat isn't wrong. That's what I'm trying to defend.
But gas chambers are wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gas chambers are wrong, 100%.
If I seen a gas chamber, that I wouldn't eat that meat.
So you're going to stop eating pork.
Probably. Definitely gonna dive in.
I'm glad you're thinking about it, but like,
Well-
always be honest when you're thinking about it. Don't try to like lie to yourself about
I'm not
certain.
lying to myself.
It's good to
At
be
the-
honest.
At the end of the day, innit, I like meat.
Could be done in a better way.
Better way, innit?
Eat in proportion, but don't cut it out completely.
That's your final.
That's my final.
That's your final thoughts.
Final thought.
And your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is, just do what you want, man.
Just do whatever you want. Don't worry about anything.
Just do
My-
do what
my-
you want.
my
innit?
final
If-
thought-
If you want to be morally good,
Be morally good.
be morally good. If you don't, do what you want. That's
But
my-
don't be a moral hypocrite. Be consistent.